Hello everybody, Nicholas Natt, and you are now tuned in to the Natt Fitness Method.
You crazy mother.
If you're watching this show, it's because you believe in optimizing your health and wellness, but you also believe that having the skills and the goals is not enough. And so having the tools and the strategies as well as the mindset can move you from where you are to where you want to be. And that's exactly what today's focus is going to be about. This is not just a fitness icon here in Colorado, but all across the nation. This man started his journey in the mid-2000s in bodybuilding, ascending from Detroit, moving to Colorado, and quickly making a name for himself on the local levels and succeeding in winning over 14 titles. He's since then been able to move into other ranks such as Musclemania and win multiple world titles. He is not only a great friend of mine, but he's an Isotori sponsored athlete and has been able to move people from where they are and help them break past the barriers that come with the creativity in not only bodybuilding, but in fitness as a whole. So please help me welcome my good friend and my inspiration, many things in bodybuilding, Michael FitLife. Mike, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Man, too kind.
How are you?
Too kind,
Oh,
man. I want to meet that guy.
nothing but honest words. So, Mike and I have had a chance of knowing each other for a while, and everything that I had talked about, Mike, is not only sincere, but what I want to really speak to people about is your testimony. A lot of what has been so inspiring has not been just, if I can say from my perspective, what you've done, because there's a lot of people out there in fitness who've gone on and titles and have done it. You actually started from a place completely, opposite of living the modified fit life. I mean, you weren't in a position where you were always having the belts and the arms. You really made that transformation in a short amount of time, much later in life. So talk to me a little bit about where you were mentally and what caused you to adopt that mindset and eventually make the shift in lifestyle.
So, gotta go back to around 2005. So, I found out my dad was really sick. He actually went to the hospital. I didn't know why he was sick. I just know he was really sick, and they said that he was taking a bath, and he had a vein that ruptured in his leg, and he had to go to the hospital. So he went to the hospital. Actually found out that he had gangrene in his leg, and they had to amputate the lower half of his left leg, because that's a consequence, or can be a consequence of diabetes type 2, which some of you can lose some of your extremities if you don't address the disease properly. So he had the surgery. He didn't survive long after the surgery, and he passed away. And it took a toll on me, because I didn't meet my dad till I was 13 years old. And him and I, we had a little differences, because I went to the Army right after high school. He really didn't like that decision, but so that caused a little rift. But when I got out of the Army, I was in 2000. We started to reconnect, and then he got sick, and then he passed away. So I was kind of angry at myself, because maybe I could have done something to kind of get us closer. But it also brought to light to me that disease, diabetes type 2, how many millions of people it affects, and not only my dad. And at that time, when I got in the Army, I blew out my knee. I had asthma, so health and fitness wise, I wasn't at my best. When I was in the Army, I didn't look like this, but I was in pretty good shape, just a lean 185 buck. And but when I got out, I just kind of walked away from push-ups, sit-ups, run, all the things that I associated with the military. But losing my dad made me come back to oh man, I really gotta do something. So it wasn't until I moved out here in 2010 that I really found my groove with fitness. I went to the water park one day. I never took my shirt off before then, ironically. And when I took my shirt off, took pictures, and I saw myself shirtless for the first time in many years. So I went from 185 to 200, and probably my highest weight 235 pounds to 40-inch. waist, just out of shape, no energy. Having 3 kids is just, it was not a good place for me to be in. And I started thinking like, man, I'm gonna be just like my dad if I don't do something about it. So I decided, like 2010, August 2010, when I moved here, after I saw that picture, I was like, I'm never going back to that. So I just began to work out. I just did the things I did in the Army, push-ups, run. I had a new job. They had a gym downstairs. I just started working out. And one thing led to another, man. I ended up losing, I don't know, like 20 pounds just by doing just basic stuff. I definitely changed my diet. I was eating fast food three times a day. And it was just, a remarkable change how I went from, that overweight guy to, a fit guy. And then from fit guy to a physique guy. And, I came into my body transformation knowing that I just wanted to get fit. I didn't want to die early. I didn't want to have diabetes type 2. I actually had pre-diabetes. I didn't even know it until I went back to a doctor and said, oh, you had pre-diabetes. We're looking at your vitals. We're looking at your blood sugar levels, and you definitely was in that zone. So, I kind of accidentally, changed my life. And then from there, I just fell in love with lifting, the gym, weightlifting, strength training. And then one thing led to another. People kept asking me, do I compete? I'm like, competing what? Like physique shows. You look like a physique guy. So ended up wrapping up my bachelor's degree. And the month after I wrapped my bachelor's degree, I did my first show, won my first show. And since then, the rest is history. Now I'm a world champion with Musclemania.
What was so funny about what you said is you accidentally changed it. And I think, if I can say this, you had leverage. You had this relationship with your dad that, he was father's son. You guys had your differences, and having something that reconnected you, and then being shortened in that, not only, gave you what I felt like guilt, but then obviously you were responsible for what had happened, but then it also made you wake up, and a part of that is you being a father yourself to 3 kids, right?
Yep.
2 sons and a daughter.
Yep.
And so I think that, so many people are like, well, it's hard for me to adopt this lifestyle, and I'm a parent, and I can't do it all by myself. And it would appear to me that you have a crazy incentive, a deep, a passion, a drive. That was the driving force behind that. And so talk to me a little bit about how you made the adoption, because there's so much information on the internet and it's saturated, right? And like you said, you just started with what you knew.
Yep.
There's push-ups, pull-ups, things that you did in the military, and then you eventually began to evolve. So how did you distinguish yourself between the things that you should do and the things that you shouldn't do, and stay focused so that way you weren't just absorbing information from Bob and Joe and all these people on the internet that are like, oh, you got to do this many sets and drink this and take this and do that. How did you mediate that?
Yeah, I'm a really analytical person, so I was thinking at it from perspective. I know how much it takes for the body to lose 1 pound of fat per week. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of fat.
Right.
Yep. I started really simple. I didn't totally give up cookies and cakes, but I did just start to cut back. And I just used this free app called Lose It, and that was powerful. Because anything if you can track it, you can change it. So knowing what I put in my body, even if it was something that, I'm not supposed to eat, something that was, not desirable, that's not going to help me hit my goal, I can at least, I'm tracking it. I know what it does to my body. Like if I eat these cookies, I know I'm going to wake up 2 pounds heavier tomorrow. Or, if I don't eat the cookies, I know I'm going to wake up, maybe like a half a pound lighter tomorrow. So just using those simple things, tracking what I eat, making sure I'm getting enough fruits and veggies in, making sure I'm eating lean protein. So, like the 80-20 rule, 80% of the time I'm eating clean. And that 20%, you can have a bag of potato chips or, things that you're used to, because anytime you try to change the body rapidly, it's going to revolt against you. You think about anything. You run really fast, you try to stop on a dime. You do that enough, you're going to blow out a knee, you're going to do something. You come in here and you try to lift, 4 plates on each side, and you haven't even lifted 2 on each side, you're going to blow something out. So that was my method. I'm going to ramp up to just being as fit as possible. I started out running 5 miles a week. I was a big runner at that time. I don't do as much running now, but I said I want to run 5 miles a week, then I want to run 10 miles a week. And and I read this book about body types for elite athletes, and you say, you know, a 5K runner has this type of body, and a 10K runner has that type of body, and that actually inspired me to compete. And I'm like, there's no way, you know, going from 232 down to 185 was I going to lose even more weight just to try to run faster. It's like, that doesn't really make any sense. So I was like, I got to find something else. And that's when I fell in love with weightlifting. I was like, well, I'm just going to build some muscle and just see what happens. And like, I literally got pictures like month after month where like, you know, start building muscle here, muscle there. The arms got a little bigger, chest got a little bigger. And actually, I was feeling stronger too. And that's the thing. Like, if you come in here, you're not feeling stronger, then something is wrong. You know, if all the efforts you put in and you, at the end of the day, you just feel like shit, you feel like crap, and you got to change something up. That's how I was feeling with running. My shin splints, different things like that. Even though I love running because I did it so much in the Army, actually won awards for running in the Army. But you know, it came to the point where like you gotta switch something up. So you can be flexible about, you know, your methods of getting to your goal, but be really stern with your goal. So my goal was to be fit, you know, and I thought it was going to be through running, but actually it was through weights. And then from there, you know, that's where all the physique and competitions and sponsorships and all that other stuff came from. So sometimes you don't know how you're going to get to that goal, and you're throwing stuff out there and you're trying different things, being brave, you're taking risks, and a lot of times it can pay off if you're true to yourself.
Fill me in on the enlightenment and what it gave you that you didn't already have, because clearly there's a passion, right? I mean, and anybody who's, you know, devoted to waking up every day and putting themselves through a discipline of eating a modified, lifestyle, and to training a certain way is one thing. Bodybuilding, I think, is always the extreme of that, and it's supposed to be because that's a sport. But with that, obviously, there's a passion, right? And so talk to me about how you cultivated your passion. You know, you talked to us a little bit about how you found it, but how did you cultivate that into a lifestyle, working full time and still being a father of three?
So I think that I give this simple analogy. So anytime you climb a mountain, you know, that's probably like one of the top things you can do, just to look out, see the horizon, and it's like you're looking at what's next. So maybe there's another mountain you need to climb. Maybe there's, you know, some kind of other endeavor. Maybe you want to go to the bottom of the deepest part of the ocean. You know, so I think it's always healthy to give yourself goals that are slightly out of your reach, that, you know, you have to work your ass off to achieve. So for me, like even before I did my first show, I had like 3 or 4 photo shoots under my belt. So I was kind of familiar with the concept of peaking my body. So I think, you know, physique and bodybuilding was only like that natural progressive step for me, because I had already, you know, done it several times. So when I saw that, you know, there was a local show available, I was like, well, everybody thinks, you know, I can do well in it. Why not give it a shot? And, you know, like just having a healthy goal to reach towards. And, you know, I'm really thankful that I did it, because it was one of the most gratifying, you know, feelings ever. Like that first show, I don't know if you remember your first show, but the first time you won your class, you know, first time you won, it's just a really, really cool feeling. Like just to look around, you're the last person on stage, all the hard work, you know, through the dieting, you know, the early mornings, the late nights, you know, all the tilapia, all the broccoli, all the asparagus, you know, all those things kind of just, you know, culminate to this one moment on stage. You taking your pictures, you got family there, you're smiling with your trophy. So for me, like competing was like that natural progression for me. And I mean, I just kind of researched my way to doing it. Like I said, I did like four photo shoots, so I was familiar with that process. So, you know, it just came down to just showing up and just believing in myself. You know, I want to maintain it consistently. You know, in basketball, you know, you want to average that 30 points per game over the stretch of your career. You know, you want to, and you especially want to perform well in the playoffs. So for me, it's all about just bringing my best to the stage every morning, honestly, on and off stage. And a lot of what I learned about fitness, this surprised people. A lot of what I learned about physique, competing fitness, I've learned from you. I've learned from other people, coaches. I learned a lot from the internet, just finding those right, I call them silent mentors. Obi Obadike, Rob Riches, just people that I looked up to as I was on my come up, and now, you know, I'm going to give that back through my social media, like people was, you give a lot in your social media. I give tips, I give direct strategies. You know, I try to provide people a lot of value because like freely I've taken, so freely I've given.
How can people who might not be following you or know exactly where you are on the internet connect with you now?
So you can reach me on Mike Lee FitLife on Instagram. I have a website, I Am FitLife. Actually, that's the name of my company. And I got some new membership content coming there where it's going to be raw, uncut, really different than what you guys have seen from me in a while. I'm definitely on YouTube, Facebook, so Twitter, Mike Lee FitLife on all platforms.
Excellent. Before I ask my last question, I want to acknowledge you for coming on and for your transparency, authentic, and genuine experience. I think what happens is that so many people can get onto social media and they can portray a certain life. And it's about, the superficiality of the body. And there's so much more that drives you. And like you said, the primary incentive that drives you now, and is such a big part of your motive, is giving back. But it was also to get in shape because of what had happened with your dad and taking control of your life. And so I appreciate that genuine response, because now, I definitely have that perspective before, but now the rest of the world has the understanding that it's not always just about the biceps and the triceps and the weights and shakes. A lot of it is the motive behind the motive, right? And so I want to acknowledge you, man, for your transparency, for coming on the show and sharing that with all of us.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge you, man, for letting me on and letting me share with the people who are following you. And this is a guy, like, if you follow him long enough, he's going to some amazing places in his career and his life. And if you follow him, you mimic what he's doing, you're going to have that same type of success. So best of luck to you on your road to pro, Olympia bids, everything, man, because I know that, your mindset and your whole approach to everything you do in life, you don't give anything less than 100%. So, hey, man, the sky's the limit for you.
I appreciate it. All right, last question. What is the impact that you want to have, not only on the world, but in particular on fitness and the industry as a whole moving forward?
So, when you look at me, I'm the guy that came from the hood. I grew up poor. I didn't have anything. It just so happened that I lost my dad, but losing him, in a sense, was a blessing because it inspired me to make a change that's impacting thousands of thousands, hopefully one day millions of people around the world. And look, you don't have to start off, fitness knowing everything. You just need enough to get started, to get that fire going. Just think about a fire. Fire, is just a little spark, and it grows to something bigger. So that's what you can just take it one day at a time with your fitness. You don't have to come in and lift the whole gym starting out, but you just progressive, just think long term, and you'll definitely hit your goals. Dream big and just work hard to achieve those dreams.
Michael Lee, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Natt.